Welcome back to Thinking Out Loud. I'm Joel.
I am Brad. Hello from Detroit.
Hello from Detroit. Here's what we have today. We like to give each other challenges here in the office and say, okay, here's your product category, here's your client, what's the campaign that you would run? So today we're actually tackling a really, really hard one in that this is one of the most beloved consumer products. It is uniquely American. People have very, very strong opinions about it. And so we are going to figure out a way by the end of this video of what is the perfect influencer campaign. The perfect influencer campaign to do around, and we're not gonna give a brand, but around a pickup truck.
I like it.
It's a loaded topic. Because people have unbelievably strong feelings. We're in Detroit, obviously this is the home of the big three. Your truck, it's your identity, and I think, you know, I've certainly seen this in the South, perhaps less in the coastal and more inhabited regions of the U.S. Do people care about their truck identity? But listen,
sure, it's
in
real.
the entire heartland of the U.S., people care deeply about their pickup truck.
Yeah, and immediately comes to mind is Joe Diffie's song, "You can set my truck on fire, you can roll it down a hill, and I still wouldn't trade it for a Coupe de Ville." I mean, there's passion here for pickup trucks, so this is good. Let's get into this.
Can we link to that song, please? I've never heard that song before.
I'll save y'all from me singing anymore. But here's the deal. When it comes to pickup trucks, I mean, people think about pickups, they think about toughness. They think about hardworking. They think about strength. They think about masculinity. Like, pickup trucks really connect with who someone is and what they do, even more so than other vehicles out there on the road. So this is a really fascinating topic.
Sorry, I'm laughing at all of the things that are on. I actually, full disclosure, I drive a pickup truck. And on my truck, without saying what the brand is, you can figure it out. But there are, sorry.
I'm afraid about what I was going to say.
My wife rails on me about this, but like, the truck series is called the Big Horn. And then on the back, it's Thunder Road. It's like, come on, guys. Like, I'm not that insecure, all right? I wanted the bed.
You're that secure. You're that secure. You can put that out there and rock it.
All right, so here's the question to set the table is, is there anything in your mind when you think of the big three truck commercials? All right, we're gonna leave the the Pacific three out of it. What's the term of the?
I don't know.
What doesn't matter. All right, big three: GM, Ford, and Dodge Ram. Is there, as you think back to the commercials that you've seen at sporting events on TV, et cetera, is there anything that actually distinguishes the fundamental message?
It's really tough.
It's really tough, right?
Because you see this strength, hardworking, masculinity. That's for everyone.
Right.
And so the question is, how do you get it to the next level? And
or what is the next level, right? So this is what we want to take, and this is where I think there's an opportunity to use influencers. Is there a different story to tell around the pickup truck that is going to differentiate it from all this standard pap and fare of like, yes, I know that I can do manly things with my pickup truck, and I know that it's going to make me feel stronger, more powerful, and all that kind of thing, and maybe even get some truck nut swinging, just to really put a fine point on it. So, what's the opportunity with the influencer?
so influencer marketing, again, we've talked about this in previous videos. If we want to boil down influencer marketing to a really short, punchy sentence, it's word of mouth marketing at scale. And so what we want to do to create that word of mouth marketing is be able to get to something that's personal.
Yep.
And we want to be able to tell a story through the lens of an influencer and let them open up their world to an audience. So what you can't do through mass market media, but you can do through influencers, is starting to take individuals and tell their story in a really organic way,
personal way.
and really let that personal connection shine through.
Okay, so you are tasked with creating an influencer campaign with one of the big three. What do you do?
So one of the first things I would do is make sure I can incorporate Joe Diffie's song. That would be an important component.
Okay,
But
you're way off.
so
God, you're way off already.
Here's a few ideas. Like, let's just rip off the strategy and start to talk tactics and figure out what may resonate. So generally speaking, people who drive pickup trucks, have seen themselves as pickup truck drivers since the time they were a kid. They may have lived in an urban area, they may have grew up on a farm, but they saw themselves as hardworking, salt of the earth people. And so the first time those individuals got to ride in a pickup truck or drive a pickup truck was really, really meaningful. So what I would love to see happen is to talk with an influencer and have them start to recant what their story was the first time they drove a pickup truck, and maybe even get them to go and drive that pickup truck in the exact place in the globe where they drove it for the first time, so they can start to capture that emotional connection and maybe bring in like their father, if that's an option, or other key stakeholders in their lives, and start to say like why it was special, and go through that field or go through that, drive to the factory that their father always drove to really get that personal connection. So that's one thought.
Okay, I think that's good.
Kind of, he thinks.
It's okay. It's okay. I think this can go a little bit farther in that, your approach, I absolutely agree with. Let's make this as personal as possible.
Sure.
Right? I mean, don't tell the masculinity and the strength story and the reliability and all that. I'm not gonna say the taglines from the big three, but they're all kind of getting it very much the same
Hordes
message.
of buffalo running adjacent to a truck.
Dropping massive rocks into the bed of the truck, Okay.
Been there, done that.
Right. It's been done, guys. And it's the same story over and over. So I absolutely agree with you. Let's bring something deeply personal and deeply connected. I would take it one step farther in that I think there's an enormous opportunity for the big three to get behind key influencers. And here's what's missing from yours is you're looking at a story, you're looking less at the storyteller. And again, why do influencer marketing? You do influencer marketing because you have an audience that loves this host. And in fact, sometimes it's about 4 million people who love this host. Mm-hmm. You support the host. And by supporting the host, I think you have a legitimate chance at actually starting to change brand perception. Because one of the things about pickup trucks is people are very, very brand loyal. Right. And so to get somebody to switch from Dodge to Ford, I think is very, very difficult. I think this is why they spend, X amount of tens of billions of dollars every year just to try and get someone to switch, right?
Yeah, and the car buying process or the truck buying process takes a lot of time. We know that. Yeah. You're going to do 12 to 14 plus hours of research. It's going to take you 4+ months to do. It's a big endeavor just for buying a car, let alone trying to get you to switch from one brand to another.
So and that creates an enormous opportunity here. What is the value of creating a brand perception in the mind of a 16-year-old, of an 18-year-old, of a 20-year-old? So when they are able to buy a truck for the first time, perhaps it's in their late teens, perhaps it's in their early 20s, is there a way to structure this so that they are more likely to buy the truck that they have seen making a really big play in supporting their own YouTuber? So taking what you said about the personal story, I would take beloved YouTubers that certainly appeal to a more middle America audience. All right, so one of the folks that we represent, Matt Carricker of Demolition Ranch, we love Matt. His truck is in every single video. It is driving to the ranch. It is driving back from the ranch. It's part of who he is, and he loves his truck. His truck's everywhere.
Even if he ran over his old one in a tank, but that's another story for another day.
He was 16 years old. It was time. But what's fascinating here is there's an enormous opportunity to have that truck connected to him, and every now and again you have a sponsorship where, look, if I were an auto, I would say, I'm giving him a truck. I'm paying him for a couple dedicated videos and integrations. It's going to be very, very tastefully done. We're going to talk about how we can personalize it. He builds gun safes within and builds secret compartments in his truck. Do something along those lines.
What he does with his family with it.
Yeah, everything. What he does with his family. I would even have maybe like I'm trying not to say any brand in particular, but let's say we have somebody come out from the brand, and maybe it's a rally driver or something, and be like, hey, let's take your truck for a drive. Let's see what it can do. Let me show you things that this truck is capable of that you might not come across in the average. I mean, you can do things to highlight it, but at the end of the day, look, Matt Carricker has 40 million views a month across his channel, and a car company and has the opportunity to be almost a character in the story of his life in a deeply and profoundly principled way. There's no option on TV or radio that's ever going to connect with that.
I would agree. So let's kind of bring this back to make sure we're capturing what we've said here. So I think we're both on the same page that, hey, if you're a brand, if you're a pickup truck brand, you want to be able to tap into influencers so they can tell their personal custom story. But what's less important than the story itself is who's telling it.
Yeah.
So let's work with influencers who do embody the characteristics of your brand and then turn them loose. And I think what I would recommend if I were that brand is saying, let's start out with 4 or 5 influencers. They don't have to be as big as Matt, although Matt is outstanding. His connection with his audience is off the charts.
Yeah. And if they want reach.
Yeah, he's going to deliver that immediately. Like you said, over 40 million views a month with Matt. But what you can do is you can start to have this long-term partnership with these influencers. Let them tell the story to their audience, to their outdoorsman audience, to the yeoman's worker audience, and let them unearth this over time. And you're going to be able to see as a marketer who's being effective, who's really resonating with your brand, and then allow you to double down on those influencers over time. And there's countless stories that you could tell and work with that influencer to tell, but do it in an authentic way that resonates with that influencer's audience.
Okay, before we leave, we're going to leave in a second, but before we leave, $1 million question. Are any of the big 3 going to do it? Do any of them have the proverbial truck nuts?
Based on what we've seen, no.
This
would be a challenge for these guys to actually be willing to let someone who connects with their audience super deeply, give them the leash to be able to go out and do something that's meaningful. Like, we're still stuck in an old environment where people are working with their agency. The agency's afraid of rocking the cart at all, or rocking the boat, mixed metaphors all over the place. But these agencies are petrified of doing something that isn't perfectly in line with the agency wants.
With what the brand wants.
Sorry, what the brand wants. Yeah. And the brand is conditioned to do things the same way that they always have, and they really just
because they think there's only one story to tell.
Right.
Yeah, and look, I mean, there could be highly innovative agencies out there that are really trying to push the brand. There could be. In our experience, we have not come across them yet, nor have we come across a brand that is really willing to, at least as it comes to the autos, we have not come across a brand that's willing to really let go and let someone authentically tell the story of what this truck means to them and how it's connected to them.
But when they do, Katie bar the door, it's going to be a spectacular opportunity for long-term engagement, and you're going to be able to win people over from switching from one brand to the next, and you're certainly going to make sure that your existing customers stay for generations.
Fully agree.
I think we've beaten this one up pretty good for one show.
Love to hear your thoughts. If at some point we're going to get some comments, and I'm really looking forward to the day where, like, the few of you who are watching this, throw a comment in, let us know what you think. I mean, we're getting feedback on other ways.
We are.
But just no comments in the actual videos. So we would love a comment. We'd really appreciate it. Anyways, thanks again from Detroit. This is Thinking Out Loud. I'm Joel.
I'm Brad. Goodbye for now.
We'll see you soon.